Welcome to Growing Your Team, a podcast designed for small business owners seeking to grow their company with the help of employees and contractors. Your time is limited, which means growing and leveraging teams is essential for business success. The Growing Your Team podcast is the place to learn tips and techniques designed to help you know when it's the right time to hire, how to select perfect fit team members, and how to maximize productivity while creating a positive work environment. Drawing from her 10-plus years of leadership and hiring experience, here is your host, Jamie Van Kuyk.
Hello, Jamie Van Kuyk here, and welcome back to the Growing Your Team podcast. Today, we're talking about generic job postings and why you should never use them. So what is a generic job posting? A generic job posting is when you go and download or get access to or even pay for a job posting for whatever position that you are hiring for, or for the most part, it's telling you, insert your company name, post it, and you're good to go. So it's not walking you through how to really adjust it, change it, perfect it for your position. It's saying, hey, here's a job posting for X position that you should use when you're going to hire. Do not use them. It is a waste of your time. And if you're paying for a generic job posting, it is a waste of your money. Why? Well, it's because they're generic. It's because it doesn't say anything specific about your company. And yes, you put in your company name, so it does talk about your company, but it doesn't talk about what it's like to actually work for your company. It doesn't talk about what you want in an ideal candidate. All it does is say the generic definition of who is good at this job, or what this job really means, or what tasks are going to be owned by this position. And guess what? That's not what attracts candidates. What attracts candidates to apply for your position is connecting with that candidate. And you connect with that candidate by writing things and putting things in your job posting that makes them say, yes, this is where I want to work. This is the position for me. Generic job postings don't have that. Generic job postings talk about things that, for this title, could work in any company. But your company is not any company. Your company is your company. And you could take the same position, the same responsibilities, and put them in another company, and that position would look different. Why? Because your expectations are different. What is going to make a team member successful within your company is different. And you need to write a job posting that is specific to your company, specific to the person you want on your team. I always say hiring is a lot like marketing. And your job posting is a lot like the content that you put out, the marketing messages, the headlines, all that stuff that attracts people. You could have the best product in the world, but if you don't put it out right to your audience, they don't care. They're never going to click through. They're never going to say, yes, I need to spend money on this. And it's the same with hiring. If you don't write your job posting for the right audience. So who should be applying? Who is your target candidate? They're not going to apply because they're not going to feel connected. You want a candidate, once again, to read that job posting and say, this is where I want to work. Yes, I could do these roles and responsibilities at multiple companies, but this describes me. And generic job postings just don't do that. Generic job postings focus too much on the tasks and don't focus on what makes up your ideal team member. Because once again, your idea team member is different than another company's idea team member when those team members are actually going to be completing the exact same tasks. One of the questions that I get a lot is, what niche do you work in? And one of the things I always say is, I'm not niche specific because hiring is hiring. I have had 2 hiring projects that are in completely different industries, hiring for completely different skill sets, and they are more alike. Those 2 positions are more alike than when I go to create hiring strategies for the same position in the same industry, but just 2 different companies. For example, I've recently, in the past few months, helped create 2 strategies for assistants within financial advising companies. And let me tell you, those assistant positions and their job postings look very different. Yes, the core responsibilities of the positions are the same. But what each company wants, what is going to make people successful within each company, are so different. And if we went out there with the same job posting for each, we wouldn't get the right candidates. We wouldn't attract the right people who really want to work there. If you think about episode 81, we talked about not resenting people when they quit because it gives you the opportunity to get the right team member in. And this is kind of it. You want to get the right team member in, right? And you can't get the right team member in if you don't attract the right people. And you can't attract the right people if you don't put the right messaging in front of them. So you need a job posting that is specific to your company. So a few months ago, I was in a conversation where I was talking about how generic job postings are not good and you should never use them. And someone asks, well, aren't they a good starting point? Aren't they a good template? And I'm going to say yes and no. Sometimes they're a good template where when I look at things to say, because even I will look not necessarily at generic job postings, but other job postings that are out there on job boards to say, what's the best way to phrase this? And that's kind of what I use other things for. What's the best way to phrase this so it connects with someone outside the organization? Because a problem I see a lot of times is people write their job postings with very internal speak, and they don't connect with people outside the organization because they don't know your internal speak yet. So that is one reason why you can kind of look at generic job postings to really get a feel for the phrase. Another reason is to look at the roles and responsibilities to see if you're forgetting something and kind of spark that, oh yeah, I want my team member to do this. I forgot that on the list because it's just something that's so ingrained in your process that you're forgetting that you actually need to hand that off to somebody. But other than that, most of the time the generic job postings just don't hit the mark. Anything that describes the role in, let's say, sentence form, you need to completely rewrite that sentence in order for it to connect with your job in your company. Even a whole list of tasks and responsibilities. There's probably things on that list, if you go to a generic one, that don't match what you need. And there's probably things within your company that you need this team member to do that are not on that list. One of the tips that I always provide when people are writing job postings is you want to make sure that you are clear and concise, but also don't eliminate or don't add things that make it so you're not accurately describing the job. So you don't want to add things to your list of roles and responsibilities if it's not really a role and responsibility that team member will hold within your company. Because you don't want to promise something that they think they're going to do, that then it turns out they don't really do that. In this past week, I have interviewed 2 candidates where the reason why they are looking for new positions after only being with their current company since March is that the job description from that job posting doesn't actually match their role. So you don't want to include things that aren't a part of the job. And then you also don't want to exclude things that really define the job. So you want to make sure that job posting, that list of roles and responsibilities, is accurate. So a generic job posting could provide you a good template to reference. So it's a reference point, but it is never something that you should copy and paste. I even say a lot of times it's never even something that you should use as your starting document and edit off of it. Mostly because then you're trying to figure out, how do I fit this into my business, instead of using it for inspiration to write what is right for your business. So to wrap up for today, don't use generic job postings. Why? Your position's not generic. Your position is unique, and you need to properly describe it for all the candidates that are out there so you get the right people for your position applying. And that way, you're increasing your likelihood of being able to hire your perfect fit candidate. Because chances are, if you go out there with a generic job posting, you're not going to find them. So let's get you your perfect fit new hire by having you use a job posting that is accurate for your position and tells the candidates that you want to hire, yes, this is the position for them. Are you getting ready to hire and you wrote a job posting for your open position, but now you're left wondering, will it attract the right candidates? Hiring isn't as simple as telling people that you're hiring and having your perfect candidate show up ready to fill the role. Hiring just doesn't work that way, especially in the current market. The best candidates only apply to the positions that appear to be the right fit for them. If they don't find a connection between their job wants and your job posting, they'll skip over and go to the next opportunity. And in many cases, the reality is it's not the job isn't what they're looking for. It's not the job posting just didn't hit the mark. So is your job posting helping candidates see that your opening is right for them? Or is it turning candidates away for all the wrong reasons? Let's find out. I am currently offering Will Your Job Posting Attract the Right Candidates audit. Through this audit, I will review your job posting, and I will tell you what's working and what needs to change so you can attract your ideal candidates. When you sign up for an audit, you also get access to How to Write the Perfect Job Posting mini course. And with this course, you will learn the sections that make up a well-written job posting and what to include in each. So that way, if you don't have a job posting yet, but you know you need to hire, or you know that your job posting could use some work before you send it on to the audit, you have access to this course so you can take a stab at writing the job posting or making some changes before you send it for the audit. So if you want your job posting reviewed by an expert before it goes live, or if you have a job posting that just is not hitting the mark in the current market, sign up for an audit. Let's review it and make the changes needed so you can attract your perfect fit team member. Because remember, you can't hire a candidate who never applies for your job. And most candidates won't apply if they don't feel connected to the job posting. So let's make sure you have a job posting that will attract all the right candidates and help you make this hiring journey easier. Go to growingyourteam.com/audit and sign up for your audit today. Once again, that's growingyourteam.com/audit.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Growing Your Team with your host, Jamie Van Kuyk. Be sure to subscribe and head on over to growingyourteam.com to connect, access the show notes, and discover more ways to hire and leverage your perfect fit team.